How are you?
What can I do for you today?
Tell me about Braden Lyrian.
I know I may be out of line by saying this, but I think the city guards may be wrong. It's hard to imagine Braden was a vampire. I could have sworn I saw him outside in the daylight before. Unless he just got that disease very recently, I'd say they were mistaken. When I heard Raynil killed him, I didn't know what to think. But after your visit here, I'm beginning to wonder.
Okay, so tell me about Reynold Corellis then.
I usually don't give out that kind of information, especially to people I don't know.
Okay, then I'll have to check you up then, won't I?
So?
Oh, it's gonna be hard. Okay, so he likes... Okay.
I accept. Blah, blah, blah. I doubt you really mean that. You're full of it. Was that supposed... Don't. Sure, that's cute. Whatever you want. Not bad. You're That's a bit excessive, don't you think? That's pretty good. You're full of... Whatever you...
Oh,
don't be silly. I doubt you really... Yes, sure, that's cute. I accept. Not bad. You're full... Was that supposed to be a compliment? I'm not buying that. Don't. Not bad. You're pathetic. See? Was... For me? Thank you. Excellent.
Okay, now, tell me about Reynold Corellis.
Raynil's staying in the last room down the hall upstairs. Here's the key. I always liked Braden and Arlene. They were a nice couple. I hope you get to the bottom of this, because I don't believe he was a vampire either.
The medal I got now, I just wasted a lot bribing him. Still got that, quite a lot, so that's alright. First door, is it this one? Yeah, this one. Oh, door open with Reynold room. I've entered Reynold's room. I should carefully search the place for anything suspicious. Close the door behind me. What? Wait, what? Ooh. I've discovered a small journal in Reynold's room at the inn. Seems he was part of a group of adventurers who uncovered an artifact of some sort from some alien ruins. They all agreed to stash the artifact in a cave until more research could be done about it. Each of them took a key to the chest it was secured in. Two other members of the group were Braden and someone named Gale Baum. I need to find out more about Gale Baum to confirm my suspicions about Reynold. Olaf may be able to help. So let's read this. The 8th day have passed and still was no sign of the artifact. We've recovered most of the remainder of the Outer Guard Tower and scoured the crumbled gatehouse ruins. But not one clue has arisen as to where it may have been buried. It's quiet out here, as if the ruins were paying respects to the alien inhabitants that just disappeared here long ago. We haven't encountered anything hostile, but if we do, I think we're ready. The Brotherhood's been in worse scrapes before. Braden paid good money for the information as to our treasure's whereabouts, and I hope it doesn't turn out to be yet another fiasco. This morning our camp was set upon by some bandits who were protecting what they claimed was their territory. Considering that we were outnumbered, there were 3 to 1. We did very well. Only Reynold suffered a small wound, but that was easily healed by a potion that Braden had thoughtfully brought with him on our expedition. After getting rid of the bandits' corpses, we set out to tackle the largest part of the ruin. The remains of the Great Keep, 2 of the walls of the once mighty structure were collapsed, scattering the telltale whitish rock so typical of the alien architecture in this part of Tamriel. This made our assault on the ruin difficult, as many of the larger chunks of wall were far too heavy for us to move. Braden suggested that we search the centre of the building foundation for any underground entrances, which was typical for this type of keep. His guess paid off, and after several hours of backbreaking work, We managed to clear an opening just large enough for us to squeeze through and enter an ancient stairwell leading into the ground. We decided to wait until morning's light to begin our descent into the depths of the ruin. After a restless sleep, all of us were quite excited at the prospect of what might lie ahead. Eagerly, we dipped our torches in a fresh container of pitch. It's hard to read this. Lit them and entered the inky blackness of the stairwell. The stale air was choked with dust and fine grit, a sign that no one had entered this portion of the ruins in a very long time. We became excited, as that meant no other tomb robbers had gotten there before us. The stairwell eventually levelled out into a corridor of sorts that snaked its way to the north. As we carefully walked along, I scanned the floor and walls very carefully for any type of triggers, wires, or pressure-like blades. Such was my speciality. The aliens were well known for their cunning traps protecting their tombs, and I wasn't taking any chances. Braden, the scholar of the Brotherhood, was getting more and more excited as we traversed the passage. He was translating the wall carvings and was becoming certain that we had finally found the true location of our prize. After walking for several more minutes, we were overjoyed to see what we were hoping to see. The hallway ended at the metal door, with the carving of a spider upon it. Now came the true test of Braden's information. The door supposedly had a puzzle lock. By pulling the spider legs in a certain combination, it would unlatch. The wrong combination would spell our deaths, perhaps triggering a collapse of the hallway or some other equally deadly trap. With a shaky hand, I pulled the legs one by one, in the order I had memorized. The sixth one, then the first one, the second one, the eighth one, and finally the first one again. I closed my eyes as there were a few loud clicks, and then the door popped open. We all breathed a sigh of relief. Pushing open the door, I looked in at the huge room with a pedestal at the centre. Sitting on the pedestal, illuminated by the shaft of sunlight from a tiny hole in the ceiling, was our prize. The floor was covered in a huge mosaic, I suppose that is, of a sterilized spider, all 8 of its legs coming to a point and ending at the door entrance. This was the last of the traps the aliens left behind to protect their treasure. Again, if it hadn't been for Braden's skill at acquiring the information, we may never have known how to solve this last line of defence. I instructed Braden and Reynolds to remain at the entrance and tie a rope around my waist in case of a sudden pitfall. Carefully, I began to walk on the darkened tiles that formed the third leg of the spider. Sweat beaded on my forehead, as the pathway made by the tiny pieces of ceramic was very narrow at the start, and one slip could again mean instant death. But death never arrived. The information had been correct, and I was able to make it to the pedestal and secure the artifact. Quickly as possible, we made our way back and out into the daylight. Once again, the Brotherhood was triumphant, and it was time to return home. At the tavern that night, we decided to make a pact. We would stash the artifact in the cave not far from Bruma until we researched into it further. An item of its magnitude could be very dangerous if mishandled, and we certainly didn't want to sell it without understanding its true value. Braden agreed to contact a local cooper to construct a chest with 3 locks. Each of us would hold a key to one of the locks, so none have access to the artifact without the others being present. For the rest of the evening we drank merrily and sang many a song of adventures past and adventures to come. So let's take that with us. I think that's going to be it, guys. For now, I will see you again in the next part.